Yo, let me get that Two Useless Organisms starring Tristan and Tommy, the Aki way.
Welcome to Two Useless Organisms, a show where two useless organisms discuss a variety of topics as it pertains to their meaningless existence. Today's show, we will discuss our retirement dreams and times we had to be a Karen. Keep in mind that Two Useless Organisms is not safe for work, so hail Satan.
Hail Satan. I
Tommy,
like
how you
that.
doing?
You know, I'm doing just groovy.
You have
Grooving right
a
along.
laid-back vibe about you, and so
Yeah.
it's been over 2 months since we recorded, and
It
I'm going to
really,
get to
yeah.
that in a second here. But when Tommy and I just did our pre podcast recording meeting, and he's got a different vibe around him. He's just emanating smooth jazz
I
and
wish.
caramel.
Let's do some smooth jazz. You know?
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta get a little smooth jazz in your life.
Smoothie goothy. Smoothie. But
Smooth.
for some reason in my mind right there, smoothie rhymed with smoothie. So I said them as if they were two different words. So we've had a little bit of a delay here. We haven't recorded in about 5 weeks. Because
5
I
weeks?
have been all over. Yeah.
I feel like it's been longer than that.
7 weeks, 6 weeks, 7 to 8, 9 weeks.
Like late September.
2 months and 1 week.
Yeah.
But let's see, so we recorded at the end of September. At the beginning of October, I had my friends from back home visit, and we did all 4 Disney parks, both Universal parks, Disney Springs, and City Walk in 6 days. Something like that.
Whoa.
5 days maybe. And then the day after they left, I went on a cruise to the Bahamas and Mexico. And then 2 weeks after that, sorry. I was preparing to move. And then about 2 weeks after that, I went to Texas with my good friend Lane. And then the day after I got back from that, I moved. And then a couple weeks after that, I went home to Illinois for some personal things, came back, had to go immediately back home to Illinois for some personal things. And now here we are.
Wow. Let's see. I haven't had too many crazy things happen. I mean, got a new girlfriend, which is really lovely. Although that may have started like around our last recording, officially or whatever. Yeah, I did go to North Carolina to visit some family and go to a wedding as well. My brother and sister-in-law just had a new baby. It's a very, very, very cute little munchkie baby. We also got a new cat in our apartment. Do we still put these on YouTube? I don't even remember.
Yeah, show the cat.
Yeah, show everybody the cat. It's kind of dark in my room. Let me I don't know.
For our
I don't
audio
want to disturb
listeners,
her.
There's a black pussy on the bed.
Yeah, right here. The little Sabrina, look, she's so sleepy. I love you. But yeah, it's really my roommate's second cat. I don't actually own any of the cats, but you know, they're when I got home, she was, you know, laying in my bed and she hasn't moved, and I don't want to disturb her. So until she tries to leave, she's just gonna be on my bed, locked in my room, until the recording is done. And also now I can't put my laptop back where it was. That's because my cable is caught on my knee, and I'm just realizing that.
See, when
lights again.
For the audio listeners, Tommy had to go across his room over to his bed, and he pulled his microphone with him. And I was hoping that he would do what I did with my PlayStation 2 when I was playing Guitar Hero once and walk away from it with a guitar controller that's not wireless, and just yank the whole shit down onto the ground. But you didn't do that, so
yeah.
Oh well.
Also went to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal a shit ton. I literally went at least once a week from the day it started to the very final Horror Nights.
Oh, you were at the last one?
Yeah, I went to the last one. I also attended the very last Nightmare Fuel show, and my God, the vibes were immaculate. Like, I still occasionally live off the high from that. Like, it was so incredible. So,
well, yeah. There's our little catch up there.
I did also have to go to the hospital one day.
Oh my goodness.
That was fun. Yeah.
Is this a podcast story or is this a private story?
I don't know. Okay. But everything's okay.
Well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear.
What if I was like, I went to the hospital? It's a private story. I mean, I'm not sharing it anyway, but
so it is. I mean,
the world knows now.
all right. Well, you know what?
Full story, Tommy.
Great.
Right, Sabrina, my little sweet pea baby, stinky pee pee paws. I love you.
Speaking
Sleepy.
of
Okay.
pets, before we hop into our first topic, my beagle is roaming around here now. I'm in a new place, so both me, my girlfriend, and my
Right.
pet are all getting used to this new place. This is the first time that I'm recording in this new apartment.
Wow. Yeah.
15 minutes closer to work. I'm in a much better location. I'm in a much newer, fancier apartment.
Nice.
So it is muy beno. But
Muy bueno.
anyway, so I guess we'll hop into our first topic here.
Let's
This has
hop
been
into
something
it.
that's been on my mind a lot lately, and that is my retirement dream.
Your retirement dream.
Now, I'm a fresh 26-year-old,
Hmm.
and I wish I could retire now because I hate the work life balance that exists for the working class Americans or the world,
Yep.
I guess, where you have to work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, for wow 50 60 years, something
Yeah.
like that. I don't like that. I think that's bad. So I wish I could just retire now, but I'll talk about what I do want to do when I retire, if I live to retirement, which I hope I don't. uh
Hmm.
so
Yeah.
my dream here, okay, to live in a cozy house with a yard in some quiet New England coastal town, except I won't be a Patriots
Oh,
fan. Fuck them. Still be a
yep.
Bills fan. uh
Sports.
you know, coastal town
The
where I
World
can
Cup
literally.
started. Anyway, sorry,
Yeah, I
continue.
don't follow what we call soccer here.
Yeah.
I don't follow that. It's been on in the break room where I work. And I don't know what's going on, except I look at the score and I'm used to football. So I'm used to a score between somewhere, 10 and 40 something points.
Mhm.
Basketball usually goes like 120 points. These
Mhm.
soccer games that have been on the TV are like 0 to 3. How
Yeah.
boring is that? When you sit down and watch a game and no one scores points, like I don't want to watch.
Sometimes there was a game, it was 2 days ago where Portugal beat, who the fuck did they beat? Switzerland 6-1. And that was
Oh,
very exciting.
6 to 1. Wow, that's just, what is
Yeah.
that? Like one goal scored per every 35 minutes
Something like that.
or something. Like that's got to be incredibly boring. So screw that.
You're boring,
Well,
nerd.
yes, I am. Um,
Yeah.
but so I want
Cool
to
not
live in
having
this.
commercials every 2 minutes.
We're Tommy. We're gonna have a commercial in like 7 minutes. So
Yeah, exactly.
just be ready.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, anyway, so my house would have a basement, right? Because basements don't exist here in Florida where we live, and I lived in the basement back home, and I miss it dearly.
Mm,
In fact, when on my trips to Illinois, I got to go back to my room in my basement and live there for a few nights, and it was just immaculate. But there'd be a Buffalo Bills themed bar, man cave type thing going on with like an entertainment room, movie posters and autographs on the wall. Our listeners probably know I collect autographs. So I have over 230 now or something like that. A music studio with all my guitar stuff and other instruments. I would have a fireplace in the living room, even though we're in Florida. It does get cold here for like a month. Fireplace and an outdoor patio area unattached to the house with some comfy outdoor furniture and another fireplace outside. So like back like that backs up to some woods in the backyard. Nice fireplace, some comfy wicker furniture or something like
that's
that.
sexy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's
And
really turning me on there.
separately, an alternate dream here would be to have a
Oh yeah.
screened-in balcony off the second floor with some bright bulb lights and a
Oh,
fountain.
oh, that's like basically what I have
It's
here.
what I had until I was forced to move
Oh,
out of my
right.
old apartment.
Because yeah.
But that's actually going to go into your topic, so I'll get to that later.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, some apartment drama, which I can't talk about too much, but I will
yeah.
mention that later. So yeah, definitely. I mean, that's I would love to just have that nice, quaint little house, the fireplace, the music room, the basement with the Buffalo Bills bar. I don't know how in Florida I would pull a basement off unless I installed like
Oh
30
yeah.
sump pumps around that were just constantly pumping the groundwater.
Honestly, you're gonna need to have 3 stories where you enter the house on the second story.
But would that still be a basement though? Or would it be an above ground first level? that I have to walk downstairs to get to.
Yes.
That's not the same, Tommy. That's just a way.
I know.
Imagine how stupid a house would look if you if it was 3 stories and you
Yeah,
had to enter it on the
it's
second.
like it's like those beach houses where like you got to go upstairs and enter the house.
You're dumb. You're dumb. 3-story houses are so rare though.
Yeah.
I live next to a community though that has like really narrow 3-story houses, and they're really interesting to look at. Like I can't imagine how big the
Yeah.
rooms are because the houses are so
Yeah.
narrow, but the square footage is probably still pretty good because it's 3 stories.
Yeah.
But anyway, Tommy, what do you have any dreams?
Well, I feel like with the way society and the economy is, I don't think I'll ever get to retire, so I try not to dream too much of it. But if I, ideally, I think what would be very nice is having a house like in the Northeast and then a house in Florida. That way I can spend half the year up north, and then once it gets too cold, come down to Florida.
Are we going to be Northeast neighbors?
Honestly, I hope so.
I think
I think
Maine is a great state. Like we should
yeah,
move
Maine.
when me and you are ancient. We're going to move to Maine,
See, yeah, Maine's up there. I was also thinking Vermont.
Vermont.
Vermont
Yes.
would be pretty sick. Also, be near New York. That'd be really cool.
Hmm.
Um, if I had more money, like somewhere in New York, like maybe Long Island. Um, like Long Island is very nice. There's a lot more to it than I think people realize. Um, then Florida, there's a million different places. I honestly really enjoy living in Orlando. Like it's I know it's trash and there's lots of traffic, but like it's a fun time down here. Although it's getting too expensive, so
I haven't gotten to that point yet where I enjoy
yeah.
living in the Central Florida Orlando area. I haven't gotten there yet.
There is parts of it that I like.
Yeah.
Mainly, or should I say, parks that I like about it.
Oh. Oh gosh. Oh, yeah,
It's really the only part that's good about being down here, truthfully. But
I would agree. That's the only thing. And going back to when I had my friends down, it kind of made me realize how lucky I am to live down here because like,
yeah,
I was viewing the experiences through their eyes, through people
hmm
who come from some middle of nowhere part of Illinois.
yeah,
And like, oh wow, I live down here. Like I said, in those 5 days, we
yeah,
did all 4 Disney parks and both Universal parks. Like, man, I live here. This is cool.
yeah. No,
So
like it is cool. Like whenever I go home to like visit my family, there's like really nothing to do in North Carolina. I mean, like there are things, but it's like there's always shit to do down here. Like there's always the parks and there's always shit going on at the parks, like festivals and holiday shit. Um, there's just always shit to do. So like I need to live in places where there's shit to do. Although if I get old and decrepit enough, it might be better for me to live somewhere where there isn't shit to do. So maybe in the middle of fucking nowhere, Ohio.
no,
No,
don't
not
say that.
Ohio.
Don't say that.
Ohio.
Don't say Ohio.
You just got Ohio'd.
Golly. No,
Imagine that
Tom,
is my retirement dream.
dude, I would
Ohio.
kill you, dude. Part of me thinks you're meant to die in a roller coaster.
I wish.
I think that's how you're gonna have to go out.
I really hope so. Um, although I'm trying to think of what would be the best way to die on a roller coaster. Like there aren't too many good ways to like if you were to die on a roller coaster, I don't imagine there being too many good ways that would happen. Now,
I think
maybe I develop a heart condition and I just die that way. I think that would be ideal. But if it was more because of a roller coaster malfunction, yeah, I don't know about that. That would be
that's
bad.
not what I meant. I
Good.
meant if you could induce a heart attack at the right time, I think that could actually be a good thing.
Yeah, I think so too.
So
That's
I don't know
how.
if we have that technology yet, but
Yeah.
anyway, so Tommy and I, when we're living together in Vermont, we can just walk across to the other's house and record the podcast in person, and the same 12 people that listen to it now will be listening to it then, and it'll just be a joyous time.
So we have 12 whole listeners.
I can tell you how many listeners. I mean, I can tell you how many total downloads we have.
Ooh,
Right now, 17 over 1,700 downloads
wow.
of our podcast, and that's just through podcast platforms.
Wow.
We have 535 YouTube views.
Wow.
So
Electric.
yeah, I mean it's something. It's
Yeah.
something. Someone's listening out there.
So someone's listening.
Someone's listening. But so that's about all I have for my retirement dream. Like I said, I don't think I'm gonna live to see it, and you don't think you're ever gonna get to it either. So I
Yeah,
mean,
I don't think I'm ever gonna be able to afford it.
yeah,
Like, unless I win the lottery or actually get a job that pays better,
yeah.
or become actually responsible. I don't know.
None of those
Um,
things are gonna happen.
none of those things are gonna happen. I'm just gonna die of fuck. I don't know. It'll be fine.
Well, if
I'll
you don't have
collapse
anything
at
else
work.
to do we have anyone who's do we have that commercial? Do we have that advertisement ready to go?
Do we have that advertisement?
Yeah.
Yes, we do. Hello there, kids. You ever feeling hungry? Then have yourself some peanuts. It's a good source of protein and they're good for your heart. Peanuts. And we're back. Thank
Okay.
you, peanuts.
Thanks, peanuts. Any brand of peanuts or just peanuts?
You know, the email did not specify the brand, so that's kind of on them.
Hmm.
So I guess peanut stocks are going to go up or peanut sales, but you know, they give me the money and they don't give me the brand. That's on them.
Yeah.
I don't need
So
to ask any further questions. So
we did our part. We told the good folks of America to go out and that one guy in Germany or France or wherever the fuck he is and
we
go out
love
and eat
you.
some peanuts.
We love you, France person.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Peanuts. Thank you.
Yeah.
Peanuts. Like Charlie Brown peanuts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or even mixed nuts.
Mixed nuts.
You know, I mentioned I had to go to the hospital earlier in this episode, and
Okay.
because of that, I've had to start eating healthier. Been eating oatmeal, which is really weird. I never thought I'd be an oatmeal guy.
Yeah, not until you retire.
Yeah, not
Like
until I
almost.
retire, but you know,
Uh
I do a little oatmeal, some almond milk, some cinnamon, throw in some mixed nuts and bananas and berries. It's a scrumptious little meal.
Tommy, when you said nuts and then went back to the hospital, I was trying to put the puzzle pieces together here and say that something scrotal related.
I wish.
But oh, you wish. That means it's worse than that.
No, I just like penis.
You lost me there.
What lost you?
With the penis part,
What about it?
I was talking about testicles, and I thought that your whatever your
Testicles,
malfunction
penis,
was.
it's the same thing.
It's not the same.
Testicles and penis, they're all a part of the same banana fruit tree.
You need to write a book, Thomas.
I should.
I want to
I'm
hear it.
Oh man, can you imagine a book written by me? That'd be a hoot.
The audio, even if it was a 150-page book, I bet the audio book would be
Oh, it would be
3.5 hours
immaculate.
long.
It would be.
You can study your way through
Now,
the whole damn thing.
would I would I be talking in my regular voice or should I try to record it in my audio or what my fucking what was that voice? Um my automated spiel voice because like whenever I get spam calls, I answer the phone and I go, "Thank you for calling Allstate Insurance. This call may be monitored for quality and training purposes." And usually by that point, the the spam caller hangs up.
Dude, I gotta say,
Um,
just now,
yeah,
hearing your voice like that in my ears, it sounded just like that.
yeah,
It
right,
sounded just like an automated call.
yeah.
All right. Anyway, we gotta move on
Oh yeah, right.
to
We have
your
another
topic here.
topic.
So what's your
All
topic?
right. So the next topic. So kind of inspired, we have a segment on our theme park podcast. Please remain seated. That's our theme park podcast. We have a segment called Pass Holder Karen of the Week, where we find a nice little Karen complaint on a pass holder page that's stupid. But I think every once in a while we've all had to been a Karen one time. So we're gonna discuss a time or two where we've had to be a Karen, and I think I'm gonna kick this segment off for a time that I had to be a Karen. The year was 2020. We all know what happened that year. Not the best travel year, but I had to do a lot of traveling that year, believe it or not. That was one of my most prolific travel years, ironically. Had to do a number of flights. And one of the flights I had to book was unfortunately through Spirit. At the time, that was the only flight I could book. And a lot of flights had to get canceled that year because nobody was traveling, and they canceled the flight. Sent me an email saying, "Hey, we had to cancel your flight. We give you in-flight credit, but if you want just a full refund instead, give us a call." Now, I want to preface this by this actually happened to me through a Frontier flight as well. And when I called them, they were like, "All right, cool. There's your refund." Now, when I called Spirit, they're like, "Sorry, we can't give you your refund because you're the one that canceled your flight." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "Well, because you canceled your flight, we can't give you a refund." So, but if you're the one that canceled the flight, then I can get a refund. That's correct. So if I didn't cancel the flight, if you guys did, I get the refund. That is correct. I have the email in front of me that says we had to cancel your flight. Call us for a refund. I'm sorry, our records indicate that you canceled the flight and we can't give you a refund. I literally have the email in front of me. If you have something to submit, send it on our website and it will take about 60 days to process. To which I'm like, okay, whatever. And then, that annoying conversation was done, and I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking wait 60 days. So I looked them up on Twitter, and there was other people complaining about them because Spirit Airlines is fucking trash. And I just replied to one of those tweets like, yeah, like they owe me a fucking refund and they're not giving it to me. And then Spirit DM'd me and they were like, what's going on? And I told them like, y'all canceled my flight and I tried getting a refund and you tried telling me that I can't. And keep in mind, Spirit also like tweeted at me and they're like, "Hey, we messaged you, like feel free to respond to us or whatever." And they're like, "Okay, yeah, we actually did notice that. Like, we can either give you $50 more in flight credit or a full refund." And I'm like, "Give me a full refund." And after that, they didn't respond. And then I tweeted back at them, "Hey, I responded. It's interesting how much you guys don't want to talk to me when I want a refund." And as soon as I tweeted at them that, they messaged me back saying that they're going to give me a refund. So, moral of the story is be a total bitch to a company on Twitter if they try to fuck you over. Um, Also, don't ever fly with Spirit. I mean, I've literally only heard negative stories about them. I would rather drive, swim, or cancel my vacation than try to deal with them. Fuck you, Spirit.
So I'm going to piggyback off
Yeah.
that. One, I want to go back to reference my Illinois trip. I don't remember if I even said it when we were recording or not, but one of my flights got canceled
Hmm.
for all my traveling, and it was Frontier. Now they let me move my flight to a different
Yeah.
day, no charge, real easy. Like
Yeah.
it was right there in the app. I did it
Yeah.
in 2 minutes.
Like, I feel like Frontier is like supposedly on that tier with Spirit, but I've always had like good experiences with Frontier. Like, I actually really like them. Oh, your fingers up. Shit.
Hold on. So
Oh
this
no.
reminded me of another, and this wasn't even going to be my example of when I had to be a Karen because I wasn't actually the Karen in this instance. I'm about to tell you, but
Oh.
my girlfriend and I were flying back from Buffalo, and we originally had a flight that was, I think, the next morning from when this call that I'm about to tell you took place.
Hmm.
But there was a wicked snowstorm coming in to
Ooh.
Buffalo, and they were canceling flights like you know for days at this
Yeah.
point. So we were like, we need to get this flight moved up. We need to get an earlier flight out of here. And it was actually my girlfriend's dad, Tom. Hey Tom, I know you're listening. Um,
Hey, don't.
and who called Frontier and showed me how you can be an asshole over the phone and get what you need. And it was a perfect lesson. Unfortunately, I did just hear that Frontier got rid of their phone line, so now you can
Oh,
only do customer service through a chat on the computer.
shit. Yikes.
Because they probably got sick of people actually getting refunds and their way by calling. So then they just do it on a computer where it's real easy to tell people that there's nothing you can do for them. Jumping into my story about when I had to be a Karen, I referenced earlier I had to move. I can't talk very much about it. All I can really say is that I had to move out of my old apartment because my dog was attacked at that apartment. And uh, we wanted to get out of there, basically. Now, we had all the proof we needed to break the lease and get out of there. Um, but it wasn't easy to do that. So basically, without getting into any more details that I can't really get into, because this is ongoing, I had to kind of be a Karen with the apartment management, and it wasn't even really that bad, and it obviously makes sense because my dog was attacked, and it was a doozy of
Yeah.
an attack. Like Olaf
Yeah.
was pretty injured, but I am never ever ever a Karen. Like I make a point to be at least neutral, even
Hmm.
if the
Yeah.
employee or whoever I'm talking to is being a fucking moron to me, or the
Yeah.
company is trying to screw me over, whatever company this is. I'll just try to be neutral and get out of it as quickly as possible because I think that's advantageous to me most of the time. Um, but man, when it came to that, I had to be a Karen through some
Yeah.
emails, and it was not a nice time.
Yeah.
But fuck
Yeah.
Frontier and fuck Spirit, man.
Yeah. Fuck Spirit. Yeah.
JetBlue is the way to go
JetBlue.
if you have
Yeah.
the money.
Yeah. It's like I don't ever have the opportunity to fly with JetBlue, but whenever I have, it's been pretty good.
Yeah.
Um, so good for them.
Yep.
That kind of reminds me, being nice as much as you can to employees. Like I actually had a snap memory that I remembered. So about like a year ago, I remember when I went to the deli at Publix, and the person behind, or one of the people behind the deli counter, I don't know how they ended up working that counter because they did not know what anything was or where anything was. Because I asked for like certain specific meats, and like I think like she kept asking her coworker, "Hey, where is this thing?" And like I could tell her coworkers were frustrated, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna make this harder than it is. But in my head, I'm like, man, I feel like there's got to be someone who would be way fucking meaner than I am right now. Which like I wasn't mean, but I'm just thinking, man, someone is probably gonna be a total asshole to this person at some point today, or already was.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. I think the same way. Like when I'm in that
Yeah.
situation, like I'm not gonna be that person, but I
Yeah.
hope someone's that person.
Yeah. It's like I hope that person found a career that's actually good for them.
I'll end my part of this with please don't be a Karen if you don't have to be.
Yeah. Yep.
99% of the time, the person you're being a Karen to probably doesn't deserve it.
Yeah.
Like they probably did not make the decision that is causing you whatever grief you have. Now,
Yeah.
1% of the time it happens, but
Yeah. It's also why like I didn't like I say I use the Spirit Airlines thing as my example for being a Karen because like I was a Karen on Twitter, but like when I was on the phone with them, I wasn't being an asshole to them. I'm like I literally have the email that says you should be giving me the refund, and I'm assuming whatever was on their end like was either a glitch or something internal that they didn't do trying to fuck me over, and they just didn't know what to do for whatever reason. Um, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do.
I want to vent a little bit more about Spirit. Okay.
Yeah.
I was going through my finances for this year and I flew Spirit to Illinois at one point, to Illinois and back from Florida.
Mm.
And then I flew American, I think, to Vegas and back. And the American flight was the same price as the Spirit flight.
Ooh.
And then when I was trying to go to Texas this year, or when I went to Texas this year, I could either take a Spirit flight with a connection in Philadelphia for the same price as a Delta flight. I thought it was supposed to be cheaper.
Yeah,
It
no.
ain't.
Like, yeah, it really
Sometimes.
depends. It sometimes is, but like you really need to like fully see through what you're paying for. Because like, the Spirit and Frontier, it's like there's supposed to be cheaper flights, but then you have to pay for literally everything else. Now if all of that is still cheaper than the next best option, then potentially go for it. If it's way cheaper, but like if it only costs like $20 more to fly with Delta, fucking fly with Delta. Like,
100%. Do it.
yeah.
Do it. All right. So we're running out of time here. So we'll hop into our last segment here, and that is the Yelp review.
Yep, review.
Yelp review. Yelp review. Yeah!
Here's a good one here. Like I mentioned earlier, I took a cruise back in October, and I started looking through cruise reviews because I was in the mood. So I found one here for lesser known cruise line, the Ku Klux Klan Cruise Line.
Like the actual KKK?
Yes.
They have a cruise line.
Yes.
All right.
All right. So this is it. This is Klux Klan Cruise Line. Review written by someone named Adolph Nugent Whitemaster. So here we go. Let me tell you all about something that changed my life forever. Prior to November of 2008, I had spent my hard-earned vacation money every year on a Carnival cruise. I thought I was getting a good vacation, but I knew something was missing. After all, you don't spend all year flipping patties at the Jack in a Box just to take a dumpy-ass cruise that always takes you to where some sort of brown people are. Well, after Chocolate Satan took office, I was exhausted from
Jesus
telling
Christ.
everyone I knew how much trouble we were in, and many sleepless nights, constantly thinking about how the world could burst into flames at any moment. A few days later, I went to my local gun club meeting, and I overheard my buddy talking about this amazing cruise he just took, so I went over and joined in on the conversation. He just kept saying quadruple KL over and over again, so finally I asked, "What's that? What's that stand for?" He told me it's a great new cruise option, born out of the recent travesty that was now nesting in the White House. It's called the Ku Klux Klan Cruise Line, and it's a great time for the few level-headed folks left in the country. I knew I had to get on that cruise. Only problem was he said they only sail out of Jacksonville, Florida. Apparently, a majority of their target audience lives in the Florida, Georgia, Carolina, Alabama, Mississippi area. I live in southern Illinois, and I will do everything in my power to avoid driving through the South, as the population demographics down there don't agree with my personal philosophy. Luckily, I was able to get a flight out of St. Louis into Jacksonville no problem. Little did I know, the greatest trip of my life since Bush's inauguration was about to begin. I got into Jacksonville the night before the cruise, and the next morning woke up and took an Uber to the cruise port. As the car came over a bridge into the port, I saw the most majestic and patriotic thing. A big, beautiful white boat with 5 funnels on top, each one with a letter on it spelling KKKKL. At the front of the ship, there was this giant figurehead leaning forward, wearing the sharpest white hood and robe you've ever seen, lighting the way of the ship with a burning cross, a sight that would have made our Confederate ancestors proud. Getting onto the boat was easy. I didn't even need to go show a passport or go through security. Turns out the ships don't sail to any destinations where there might be dark devils waiting to threaten our well-being, so we stay off the coast of the U.S. for most of the cruise. Security ain't needed because every passenger on board has the necessary items to keep each other safe in case we need to defend ourselves. Once on board, all my cares had floated away, and I was in a world of supremacy
even
and
legal?
relaxation. International waters have different laws, Tommy.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
So,
yeah. All right. Yeah. Anyways.
If the KKKKKKL says you don't need to go
Well,
through
I mean, I
security,
guess,
then you
yeah, I
don't.
guess, well, yeah, I guess they weren't going anywhere specific, but anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Continue.
Once on board, all my cares had floated away, and I was in a world of supremacy and relaxation. The amenities were endless, from moonshine tastings to the Kid Rock dance party. They even have a little stage show where they
Kid
reenact
Rock
the
dance
Civil
party.
War with a reimagined ending that is just phenomenal. I spent the first day.
Reimagined.
Yeah, reimagined ending of the Civil War. Bigger and better. The way it should have gone.
According to this guy, probably.
Yeah, Adolph Nugent Whitemaster.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
I spent the first day just laying around the pool, sipping moonshine slushies and listening to the Steel Drum Band play Brad Paisley's greatest hits. At night, I went to the Kid Rock dance party and was shocked to see that Kid Rock was actually there. Not on stage, but completely sloshed in the audience, singing the wrong lyrics to his own songs. We closed out the day with the nightly lighting of the cross ceremony, where we sing the national anthem, with a finale of fireworks followed by the captain of the ship torching the cross at the front with a flamethrower, signifying how our supreme race will lead the world into the unclear future, cleansing it of its wretched vermin along the way. The next day was spent at KKKKL's private island, Ku Klux K, a wonderful beach getaway with all the moonshine slushies and Brad Paisley you can imagine. Now, I'm a sucker for souvenir drinks, so I just had to get their little Burning Cross robe cup, which is a cute little Klan member holding a burning cross, and the cross is the straw. I wish I had thought of that. I'd be a millionaire. I even heard that the lifeguards on the island used to be in full robes, but that inhibited them from saving swimmers, and they had to just wear swimsuits after 4 people drowned while swimming in their hoods, and the guards didn't get them in time. At least the lifeguards still have their firearms. God forbid they have to use them, but you never know if you're going to have to shoot a shark away. After a nice relaxing day on the island, I got back on the ship and enjoyed another wonderful cross burning and the Kid Rock dance party. Except this time, Mr. Rock was sleeping in a pile of his own vomit, still incorrectly muttering the lyrics to his songs in his sleep. The next day was a relaxing day at the sea, so I just relaxed and took a Brad Paisley Steel drum lesson. I also ate like a white king on this vacation. They have an amazing buffet open all day. It's called the Caucasian Culinary Cuisine Cacophony Cafe. The food is great. It's got the best pizza rolls I've ever eaten, and the name of the restaurant is so clever they must have gotten Seuss to name it or something. We had to get off the ship the next morning, which is always sad. But seeing the hundreds of proud patriots standing in line to get on the ship after we left made me hopeful that we might be able to save this country. I give the quadruple KL 10 out of 5 stars and highly recommend it to white people of all ages.
Wow.
After I recovered from being so alarmed from what I found here, the fact that something so
I need a shower.
crazy definitely totally exists. I actually found an advertisement for it, and I'm gonna insert that right here.
If you suffer from moderate to severe Trumperiasis or the extreme intolerance of non-white people, then book a vacation on Klux Klan Cruise Line. Submit a photo of your 2020 presidential election ballot for a completely random chance to win a free meal voucher to our signature restaurant, Caucasian Culinary Cuisine Cacophony Cafe, or Quintuple K for short.
So that was the quadruple KL, as they call it. Tommy, are you going to be booking a cruise on the quadruple KL anytime soon?
I'm sure they'll love my bisexual liberal ass on that fucking cruise. Like,
You bring your gun, strap it to your side. No one will know the difference. You got that big Junos too. You don't. That's gonna.
yeah,
That's gonna
I got
mess
my
you up.
big Drew nose. I got my glasses. Like, would someone that only likes white people wear? I mean, they are white glasses, so maybe they would like that.
Yeah,
But
I think you could blend in as a supremacist, though.
maybe you think I could? Oh,
yeah.
that's so nice of you.
Having said that, we have a minute and a half left, Tommy. What do you got to say?
Well, I was also just about to say I don't think I'd be able to take my Colombian girlfriend on that cruise, so that wouldn't work out.
You heard of blackface. Now you get to learn how to do whiteface. Take it out, Tommy.
Thank you guys for listening to what are we, two useless organisms?
2-0.
Yeah, we're two UO. Sorry, that Yelp review just got me.
Social media,
Whatever.
YouTube.
Yeah, social media, like, comment, subscribe, bell icon, 5 stars, pee pee poo poo, Tristan.
Bye.
Nailed it. Two useless organisms. Two useless organisms.
Welcome to come on, fucking serious.